Hello, ladies, gentle nerds, and all of my beings alike. It is so great to have you all here. Welcome to my channel, MindofAK. I am AK Ray, a writing sculptor, sculpting writer, and this is my new series, Creature Features. This week, I make something totally out there. I'm calling it a monster demon incense burner. Hopefully you enjoy it. If you do, please give me a like on today's video. Go ahead and also subscribe if you also haven't yet, and click the bell icon for future updates. Without further ado, I am so excited about today's project. I just want to jump right into it. Let's go ahead in 3. You saw the countdown. Boom! Alright, as I stated in my first statement, I was to the moon excited about today's project. This was one of the first projects that I did in a while that it was just seamless from start to finish. This is the step 1, this is the prep work. This one I did a little bit differently than other projects that I've done. I put a lot of time into thinking of this. Generally with my pieces, I glue them to my base. This one I didn't want to do that because I needed it to come off of the base. So this wire that you see actually turns into something later on in the video. I'm just measuring, making sure everything's cool. I did measure the incense versus the actual piece to make sure that it would go in without any issues. And this is me bulking out the structure that I made. And what I'm gonna do here, you'll see in a featured shot, I bulk out the aluminum foil, and then I take out the armature wire here in a few seconds. And there's a reason for that, as I was alluding to earlier. And that's right here after I get the holes for the arm made. And you're gonna see here in a few seconds, the reason I take out the wire is, again, I want it to be able to come off of the base without it being glued. Because I do put a head on this, which I was not a full fan of the head that I made. So let me get into this here in a second. This is the body. Everything was fine with the body. I didn't sign up to make a crackhead snowman today, and that's what I feel like I was making. So this is my reaction. Yeah, so we're gonna try this again. So I switched out those eyes for these other eyes, and yes, that smoke that you see, I lit an incense and I left it in there. Not a good idea, so I wouldn't do that, but I left it in. I don't know why. I was in a zone, but this is definitely cool, and we're done. Just kidding, we got a lot more to do. But with that said, I was very excited about how everything came out with this. I was to the moon excited after this second.
Yeah, dude.
As you can hear, I was very happy with where I was at. So this is where I am at the moment. So what I'm doing is I'm taking some clay and I am actually pre-baking some hands. What I'm doing with these hands is I'm taking the wires you can see in the video, and I want these to be a little bit larger than what I normally make for my pieces. So you put the wire in your clay, and when you pre-bake them, it's a lot easier for you to put the clay onto the fingers when you're done. So I do 2 sets of hands that you'll see here, 1 and 2. Now, another thing that I didn't account for, when I did have the incense burning, I had it burning on top of just regular wood. Now, is it gonna burn my house down? No, but I also wanted to make sure I took all the safety precautions. So what I'm doing, as you can see, I'm putting aluminum foil on it, so that way when I go to future use it, I won't have any issues. And I'm testing out both the holes in the most suggestive way. Yeah, I know. Well, let's move on. Can we update the music, by the way? That's better. So now let's get on to the actual sculpting. As you can see, the mouth did get a little charred from me using so much incense, but it turned out to be fine. And we're gonna put on all this clay now. Now, what you're seeing here, as I alluded to earlier, I'm making horns out of the armature wire. This is very dumb, by the way. Don't do what I just did. Surprised I haven't injured myself yet. But I did take the horns and I put them in, and they are in the position that I want them to be in. And now we're going to put on all the clay. Now I'm just going to take a moment because this is a little tedious. It's just a shot of me applying the clay. I personally love incense. If you can't tell, this is the reason I'm making this today. I had a previous incense holder that I was making that I just want to update it and get a new one. But I love incense. I love everything about it. My favorite brand is about to be on the screen right here. Nag Champa. I'm not affiliated. It'd be awesome if I could. They're my brand of choice. For anyone that does burn incense, what brands of incense do you like to use? Do you have a different one? Are you a Nag Champa person as well? Let me know what you guys utilize in the comment section. I always want to learn about new incenses, different ways to burn incense, everything like that. So let me know. Right now I'm applying horns and teeth into this guy. And also just want to tell a little backstory. When this piece was done, I said it to a couple friends while it was burning, and they suggested it was something different than what it was intended. So I decided, as it should be to them, I would name it a off name that they would get. So this dude's name is Gas with a U. So was he intended for this purpose? Absolutely not. But I understand it does look that way. It was not my intended purpose. But as they say, the internet go internet. So we have now reached the point where I'm pretty comfortable with the first layer of clay that's on there. And I want to go ahead and get some clay on the arms and then put those hands together the way that I have it. Everything about this sculpt was super carefree for me. I didn't run into any issues of any kind, which is something that I'm very happy about. Nothing was tedious. Everything flowed swimmingly. And this is my shot of me doing the hands. So after they're baked, I take another layer of clay and I put it over the hands. And I get these other cabochons. These are 5mm ones, just to add some dimension. You don't have to do this, but I like to be different. And I'm rolling out some clay to put onto the fingers. This part, I will admit, can take a while because sometimes the clay will poke through the sides of it. I didn't have any issues this time. I was very happy with everything regarding this. So this is me putting the fingers on. I'm not going to show you all 8 fingers. This is pretty much rinse and repeat here. And then I'm going to show you here at the next shot. I just could have stopped burning incense. So this is test 5, I think. And you see the smoke? It's working. Thumbs up. Alright, now this was the absolute favorite part of today's sculpture, was all of the detailing. Especially, I wanted this to be super creepy, almost Halloween feel, which I know we're months away from Halloween if you're watching this in the immediate future. If you're watching this at a future date, happy Halloween. But I wanted to add a lot of faces. I've done this on a piece personally in my before my YouTube channel started to go online, and I actually was super happy with it, but I sold it to a friend that she wanted it for her home, so it has a different home, but I wanted to do an updated one with my home. And there's also another reason why I wanted to do this as well. So my old incense holder that I had, I don't have a photo of it. If I do get one, I'll share it on my Instagram, or I'll put it in the story on YouTube or my TikTok somewhere. But I had a person that visited the home that was a Jehovah's Witness. This was about 3 years ago, before the pandemic fully took effect, and I had my incense holder on my table. She, on site, just decided that the very sight of my former incense holder, which is not bad at all, it's literally somewhat science fiction like. I definitely have to get the fiction now because I sound like a weirdo. But she just instantly handed me a whole bunch of books. I got the Book of Mormon. I got Chick publications. If you don't know what those are, Google them. And I'm not here to make fun of anyone who is that. I just didn't know that something I could make could trigger someone, and I definitely didn't want to do that and unintentionally. But I did want to update mine to see if I did get any visitors, whether it's a family member, friends, or whatever, and they saw this, what the reaction would be. Would it be similar to what happened, or would I be able to, have a nice little talking point? So that's kind of where my mindset went into this. And as you can see, I did add a lot of faces, and I'm just doing final detailing. Again, it's a lot of rinse and repeat, so I'll pause talking for now, then I'll jump back here in a few seconds. I just want to add really quick as well. As you can see, I know you can't see my face. I'm having so much fun with this piece, and I said this to a couple of my friends personally. The last piece that I made for you guys on YouTube was not fun for me. It was too big, it was too ambitious, but I was very proud that I got through it. And the reason why, there are no such things as failed projects. You learn something every time that you try something. So as much as I didn't have quote unquote fun with my last project, going through that helped me have fun with this one. So if you're in the middle of something that's not going well, finish it. You are your own critic. You know what works and doesn't work. Oh look, by the way, here's a shot of Abdul. Didn't realize the camera was recording while he was detailing. If Abdul knew this was happening, he'd be freaking out right now. But let's just pause. Can we just look at this shirt? Yeah. But anyway, as I was saying, as I'm detailing the hands, I just always want to emphasize, if you start a project, no matter how you think it's going, finish it. The best thing that you can do is learn something every project that you start. Last week I got a lot of lessons. I did utilize a lot of those even with this one. So we're here at the next step. I just got it out the oven. As you can see, it baked perfectly. And I'm about to start the painting process. But one thing I want to bring to your attention, you might notice there's some rocky textures on the arms. There's a reason for that. Let me show you guys here what I just did. Unfortunately, I don't have anything on video for it. But what I do have is a base that I made. Now this base is made out of ultralight that I had left, some glue, and unfortunately an owl statue that got destroyed. But yeah, I wish I had video of this, but my camera acted up. But the rocks I glued to the base. It's ready to go, and we're about to start painting. So we're on to step 3 of this. Let's get it. It's time to paint this thing. And the other thing. Mainly the other thing. So on this, I'm just basically, like I said, time to paint. I will say at the beginning, very monotonous paint job, but I do accent it here in a little bit. I just take dark gray. I don't paint the rocks because I actually like the texture and the coloring of the rocks from the statue that got destroyed and vandalized. Which, by the way, whoever destroyed my owl statue, we got beef. I'll just leave it at that. So I'm doing a black wash like I do on my first piece that you guys saw on my YouTube channel, which if you didn't see that, go ahead and check it out in my other playlist where I do sculpting makeovers. I turned a bowl from Family Dollar into a sea beast. Pretty cool stuff. It is a little bit on the longer end. I had to break my YouTube bubble. I would appreciate if you guys check that out as well. But pretty much the same thing I did in that video. I painted it, dry brushed it, and then I did a light brushing. So what you're seeing here is a similar color pattern to this. I'm painting the whole thing a dark blackish gray. There was a method to my madness, I'll say. I was going to paint this red with black accents. However, I decided I think the darker the piece looked, the better the effect would be when the smoke is coming out of its mouth, as to give it a little bit of contrast. So outside of the teeth and the horn accents being white, for the most part, it is very monochrome. But I do, as you can see here, I do take some metallic gray and I dry brush it on the horns, a little bit on the back, actually a lot on the back, and then on the hands. Just so it's not too single color tone, so it does have some dimension that lets it stand out. Also, I did put a lot of detail in this, and I did want it to come out a little bit better in the piece, so that's what also I did as well. Later on in a little bit, you'll see a quick shot of it. It just edited really quick. It was on a Barry Allen kick. I do take also Folk Art Purple Flash, and I brush it along the tentacles on the side, and also I call them his nubs. It's the nubs on the side of his head right there that you can see, just to give it a little extra dimension. The purple you really can't see in the video, but if you saw it in person, it does have a nice pop to it. But pretty much we're getting near to the tail end, so I'm brushing this also on the hands as well. And what I also noticed here as we get closer to it, after I scrape off the paint, I did want to add a little bit more dimension. So after I get all the paint off of the cabochons, I take Folk Art Pistachio, which is a light green, and I dry brush it in random areas. I just thought this added a nice little bit of dimension, brought some more detail out of it. And this final thing is my favorite part. I took lime green nail polish and dribbled it all around the bottom of the mouth and added a really cool effect. I also take red nail polish and I put it all across the teeth as well. So this came out really well. But we have reached the end, folks. So let's do it proper this time. Lights, camera, smaction! Like I said at the beginning, I know I have a very light career here on YouTube, if you want to call it that. But of all the pieces that I did, including all the pieces I did in my personal life this year, this is at the top. I had so much fun making this, bringing gas to life. I hope you all enjoyed it too. I meant to ask this the last couple of weeks. What do you guys think of the projects that I've been putting out? Do you guys like them? Do you think there's anywhere I can improve? Let me know in the comment section. If you have any tips that you would have done differently, let me know that as well. I also want to give a quick shout out to my Patreon, my patron, Chef_PC. If you'd like to join that as well, the link is also in the comments. Please also like, subscribe to the channel, help me grow. And yeah, I had fun this week. Before I let you go, here's the teaser for next week. Let me know if you can pick up on it. I wonder. Well, I will let you guys go for now. Later, folks. Have a good week. Inside my mind.